My name is Henrietta Boyd. Some people call me Etta.
Dolly Anderson.
I'm June Ellison. That's my married name. That was June Smith.
What age I was? 103.
I was brought up in Belfast in Downey Gardens of Donegal Park Avenue. And I was there from I was 4 until I was 11. And we emigrated to Canada.
I was born in Portadown. I lived different places, you know. My father, he changed his jobs quite a lot, and of course we went with him, you know. We were quite travellers, if you know what I mean. I moved up to Belfast because my father got a job up there.
At the brothers, Peter and Brian and Bill. Bill, I absolutely love Bill. He's my younger brother and I absolutely adore him.
I had a sister, yes. She was a lovely lady and good looking lady too.
He worked in a city bakery as a checker. Tell you the truth, I was that young, I hardly knew what he did.
I was sent to music, and my dad paid 10 lessons before he started, and I went every Saturday morning. And I went the first morning, didn't like it. So I mitched. The music teacher called to see my father and said that he was wasting his time and also his money because Etta wasn't turning up.
We never were in the house long enough to call it any of the houses a family house. We were moving about all the time, you know.
In the early 60s, there wasn't much TV or anything like, you had to make your own go at it, you had to make your own fun.
Did you have a piano in the house
Oh
to
yes,
practice on? So you just taught yourself?
I did. Mum wanted a TV, a new TV, but there was a small one, and it was hard to see. But I wanted a piano, and I won. We went out to look at pianos, and I got this one. I played it, and I said, oh, I like that one. And I sat down and I started to, I said, that's lovely. And then I looked round and I died 10 times because there was a crowd outside.
It wasn't easy when I was a young girl. You had to, everything was done the hard way.
Oh, they were good parents.
The first school I went to when I was 4 was Glandore.
We lived in Barrack Hill, just straight across from the barracks. And I went to school in the mall.
Ballyclare Primary and then at the secondary school, Ballyclare Secondary.
It was a hard school.
I wasn't the smartest pebble in the beach.
And then this was about boys going to high school and you going to secondary.
I got my plaits tied to the back of my chair in the class because I wouldn't keep my head up. It gave me a very sore head. When I told my dad what had happened, he was fit to be tied, and he went up the next morning.
But in those days, like, there's no such a thing as me going on to academy or anything like that. But my two sisters, they got a good education. I just got a primary education, you know. But it stuck to me all right.
And then this was school. So you wrote with pens like that from about P5. I was a good writer. Favourite subjects was art to you?
I did enjoy school activities, I loved woodwork.
I thought he was awful brave. I know I remember that because I heard his voice. Will you ever do that again? And I support you to the education and also the Children's Society.
I used to go to a wee dance, and he just asked me up to dance, you know, and we got on like a house on fire and, you know, went to all the dances and went to the pub and had a wee bevy, and that's how I met Ernie. Did you ever hear the Deer Park? They used to go in there and have a wee dance and a wee drink.
I just had turned 18,
And who did you marry?
the love of my life, Alexander Boyd.
Like to go to dances, and out on a Sunday afternoon we did a lot of walking.
Tommy came from Coors Corner. Lived down there, Anderson you call well, you know it's Anderson you called him. He lived down there, and we lived in a house not too far away from there, and that's how I met him. And there used to be a crowd of fellas called the Kill Road Boys. And Tommy was one of the Kill Road Boys. I suppose he was one of the rascals now, I don't know. But that's how I met him.
My husband he was a farmer. He was a good gardener too. And it was a big garden in the house. All the nice flowers that you could think of, and gooseberry bushes. I remember those dearly. I would have been down maybe gathering some gooseberries, maybe to make jam. And every gooseberry I picked, my dog, my collie dog, would ate one.
I've been going together for about maybe 3 or 4 years, and just, you know, got engaged and then got married. I was married a right few years before Jonathan came along. I think I was married like 13 years before Jonathan came along. And then Jamie just appeared out of the blue.
Good wee while before we got married. Because you couldn't have got a house or anything in those days, you know. Down in Clifton Park Avenue Church. The thing about that was you went into a church and there wasn't a window in it. It was in darkness, you know. But we still got married in church.
Oh well, went to live at the farm, Whitey's, people's farm.
We had all them years to, you know, have a baby, and then I had Jonathan, and then not so long after I had Jamie, so that was me. No more.
Like there was no such a thing as you going across abroad or anything then. So we had our honeymoon in Bath Street in a very nice house there. And in that particular house, there was three couples. There was a soldier and his wife, a farmer and his wife, and Tommy and I. And I always remember the first day we came down for our breakfast. She had a wee card in front of each her place, and on it said, "Whom God put together, let no man put asunder," you know. She was a lovely woman. Hadn't many luxuries, but we were happy enough together.
I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. With me being an only child, I would have loved 4.
We had a good life, but we never were able to have children of our own. And we adopted a child, a wee girl, Pat. She was about 2 or 3 weeks old. It was lovely when we got her home. You know, she was a lovely wee girl. She was the joy of our lives, really.
John was born 19th of September 1965.
At that particular time, you couldn't have got a house, and we were living with my mother and my father in Cliftonville Road.
Jonathan, my oldest boy, he learnt the bagpipes in school and went to shows and all and played the bagpipes. He was talking to a teacher, I think, and she just said, like, you know, why don't you come along? And so he did, you know, and really enjoyed it, you know.
Her name is Alexa. Alexa was Alex's name, and I stuck the A on it. The sister of the ward came and she says, "That's a beautiful name." I said, "Do you like it?" I said, "I've just made it up."
Jonathan had cystic fibrosis, so that was a debilitating illness, chest infection after chest infection after chest infection. And Jamie was more a football guy, you know, big jump, jump, you know. He loved his football and stuff, you know, whereas Jonathan, he just loved his music and his playing the pipes. And I found him very vibrant, you know, very moving, very emotional. And I enjoyed that there, like, you know.
She still kept being a lovely girl, you know. But then she died about 9 years ago.
I was a comptometer operator. Well, that was a calculating machine in them days. Had to go to a place in Howard Street in Belfast to learn how to use it. And where I worked for a long time in Davis and Turner's, that was near Holland. They sold bathroom suites and electrical stuff as well. It was great. Just nice company.
The shop that I worked in was in Royal Avenue. Worked there for I don't know many years, and I loved it.
I went into the cooking, you know, baked and cooked and done that as a job. Like, went into this place in Ballyclare and that sold buns and cakes and all sorts of things, and I enjoyed all that, you know, baking and cooking.
And I'm sure you wouldn't remember it, but there used to be gates across Royal Avenue. Do you remember that? That divided the Royal Avenue from Donegal Place, and we were just at there. The gates were just outside our shop. The soldiers were always on duty there, you know.
Standard telephones, loved that. Made the phones, just actually made the phones that sell out to people. It was a good year in 1984 and 1986. We just we all loved that, you know. It was a good time.
We was a farmer, mixed farming. Oh, very busy, aye. We had pigs and cattle and all that sort of thing. There was always plenty to do.
And then this one's our marriage, love and loss, because I wanted to include your story about the massive part of your life, your two lovely boys and your husband, and just that they had.
Rathmena has helped me enormously, really helped me, you know, come to, it's really coming to terms with stuff, you know. My husband died and Jonathan died of cystic fibrosis, and Jamie got killed in a car accident. So that I was sort of left. That's why I'm in Rathmena. Well, you know, I loved the Irish dancing, and I've won competitions. It just came upon me, and I just started it and made the best of it, you know. And I was like a 38-year-old woman before I started to dance. A teacher came to the school I worked in. I worked in a wee school, and she came and she says, look, you know, you would really enjoy if you came to dancing. And I said, like, you know, that's just something that I would love to do. And it ended up, we went to wee classes and learned about, you know, what you'd done and what you didn't do and all the rest of it. And it ended up, it was like a wee fave of mine, you know. I really enjoyed it. It was good crack, you know.
This was your poem. I loved your poem. I used to be adorable, but now I am gentle. I used to be ambitious, but now I am playful. I used to be charming, but now I am young.